psychologist, Dr. Scott Hamilton, and in the second segment, we'll be featuring Ainsley, Waugh, a track and field Olympian. Now, Kane Watson, cameraman.
Good afternoon, everyone. As my co-host said earlier, we have Dr. Jason Scott Hamilton, a sports psychologist. In starting, Dr. Hamilton, how are you?
I'm good, Ian. I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Give us a roadmap of how you became a sports psychologist. I mean, that's not a profession one growing up would say, oh, I want to be a sports psychologist when I grow up. It's an interesting profession if you ask me.
Oh, that's a lovely question.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'll give a quick synopsis. Born in Jamaica, 62. Went to a whole heap of prep school because I was a little trouble child. Passed common entrance and I went to GSC. Go to GSC, get in a little trouble, and then send me out of GSC, send me to a lovely school in the country called Titchfield. There I met Peter Mo Young and enough other national table tennis champion. Peter and I actually played on the Titchfield volleyball team in the national final. Then I did always play football good. Came to the United States, played football at University of Houston. I meet a girl in Miami. Her mother went to Titchfield, and I transferred from Houston, come to Miami to FIU. A year later, she married me. I did a PhD in clinical psychology, and she told me, said, well, Jamaica, her family is Jamaican. She born in Canada, but her parents are from Portland. She said, you know, Jamaican people, they like clinical psychologists, but they don't really love to talk to them. So, although you're a licensed clinical psychologist, my wife is the answer to that question. She said, you love sports.
Okay.
Right? Some more doctoral work, specialize and get licensed in sports psychology as well as clinical. So I've always been helping athletes, and sports psychology is really, it's helping the athletes perform on the day that they need to perform so they don't choke. There's a region of the brain that causes you to do silly things, limbic cortical region. We'll talk more about that. But the answer to the question is, my wife, out 34 years, she did say, you love sports, you're a clinical psychologist, try go get. So I was a dean in the College of Medicine at FIU, and I was always hustling the sports psychology on the side. And one day I just say, you know what, I'm in more academia. I went just straight sports psychology. And I have had a lot of success. Enough athlete.
Note to self, always have a strong woman with you.
You what?
Well,
man. I'm a strong man with Titchfield ties. Yeah, Portland.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the pushing drive. I mean, you have a strong sports background, as you noted, and I guess you're doing what you love. I mean, time with your work, sports, and all of that.
Yep.
So, you're basically what you're saying, there are different types of sports psychologists, and you're a clinical sports psychologist.
Yeah. So you have people that think they might have their masters and say they are sports psychologists, but to be honest, you should have your PhD and you should be licensed. So many clinical psychologists go on to do more work and become sports psychologists. So we understand the clinical work, but we also go on to do kinesiology, understand the body, understand how chemicals, serotonin and norepinephrine can affect you, you know?
And affect your performance.
All them things there. So going back to that thing when I was talking about University of Houston, Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler were my classmates. Carl Lewis, that youth was my classmate too. You know, and Shaquille O'Neal is my frat brother.
Okay.
Enough celebrity athletes, and I just talk to them and understand the brain with them, and yeah, it's good. It's been very good. I enjoy it a lot.
So you worked with mostly only Jamaican athletes, or
no? I do come back and I work with my former schools for free. So I work with JC a lot, and we win enough money. I've been working with JC for the last 17 years. Work with Titchfield and their track and field. Them want my help now with the schools challenge. I've helped JC with track and field and Manning Cup. We just win the track and field.
Yeah.
I've been a sports psychologist for Harborview for the last 15 years. I was a sports psychologist for the West Indies cricket under Dave Cameron presidency. So we won the 2013 and 2016 T20. Yeah, what if a team? Them watch football team up here in Miami, and the coach said, we never win no tournament. 7 championships them have. Them say, we never win no championship unless Dr. Hamilton was working with us, and I was also a player.
Good.
So I was on the team.
You touched on performance on the day. So is it the case you work on athletes on the day, or is it a time frame or something that you schedule way before actually going on the day?
Okay, excellent question, Ian. So you're a former national champion, right? You say you're practicing well, you and Peter practicing well and everything, but then you get to the big final, and all you have to do is say a nemesis, somebody who has been beating you, like your whole life. All you have to do is see him warm up and your head start take you.
Yeah.
You understand? And that is where I get my athletes them to do more. There was a famous example of back in the day with Czechoslovakia, where Czechoslovakian, this is like the beginning of sports psychology. So in the 70s, Czechoslovakia sports psychologist told his weightlifter, all right, this is a weight you lift all the time in practice, right? I want you to lift this, and then we're going for the world record. So the man get up, clean, jerk, lift, put over him head, hold it. Just when him drop it to the ground, the entire arena erupt. That was the world record.
Yeah.
You understand? There's other examples. There's a lady from Scotland. Can't remember her name off the top of my head. But her husband is a sports psychologist. She's from Scotland and she's channeling like Braveheart type. She's a warrior. She's better than her husband. So she trained for this Ironman, which means she swim, she cycle, and then she run, right? Can't remember the exact distance for the Ironman. But this time she's peaking now, working with a sports psychologist. She gets to the competition and first, so like hundreds of people jump in and they swim. Must be the 5 miles. Swim, at the end of the swim, she's third. She's in good position. She jump on the bicycle and she starts to ride. First mile, she riding. Boom, her tire go out, right? Explode. She have to fix the tire. So her brain starts, limbic cortical region start act upon her. She start cussing and getting angry. She fix the tire, jump back on, she ride another mile, boom, the chain drop off the bicycle. She's like, what the? And what if a bad word? So her book, the title of her book is Pure Bad Word, right? So I don't know if I can drop the bad word on the show, but it's bad word, she's pure bad. The title of her book is some F-bomb.
Yeah.
So she fixed the chain, she jumped back on the bicycle, she ride again, 2 more miles, boom, the front tire busted. So she's causing more bad word. So she went from third at the end of the swim. So she's now second to last. Everybody that passed her. Yeah. So she come off with a bicycle, and this is where she get the title of her book. She said, just F it.
Mm-hmm.
She's second to last, Ian. She sprint the entire 5 miles.
Yeah.
And win the race.
Oh, I need that book.
Yeah, I will send the title. It's a great sports psychology book. But she sprinted. She couldn't believe she sprinted. She's angry, but the story get better. She go to another, so she became at that time the number 1 Iron woman athlete in the world. She go to the next competition to defend her title, and something happened the night before, where she like broke her arm or dislocated her arm. Oh, she dislocated the arm. So her husband is telling her, all right, look like you can't compete tomorrow. She said, you look like you're an idiot.
I have to compete.
And tape up the whole of her hand. So she taped her hand to her body, Ian. And for that particular one, it was a straight race, no whole up corner on the bicycle. She jump into the water and swim with the one hand, come off and ride the bicycle with the one hand, and go and run the race with the one hand, tape up to herself and win with the same effort, attitude.
Levels.
Power of the mind.
Okay.
And that's where I work, and I really love the thing.
Oh, the mind.
All right, Dr. Hamilton.
Uh-huh.
In more detail, tell me a little about mental skill training and how that can impact an athlete in terms of performance.
All right. So, without giving away too much of the secrets, you're training here, I need to collect the money for it. So you're training your mind. You're training your physical body, right? And all right, to answer that question, I'm going to tap into one of the top sports psychologists in the world, a person whose work and research I like a lot. His name is Dr. Steven Peters, and he came up with a theory and a book, best-selling book, that breaks down the brain for lay people to understand. So here's the athlete, and the athlete is training their body, right? But they're not training their mind. And many athletes perform better in practice than they do in competition. You see, like Shelley and Fraser, who just broke the national record at 10.63, and you're seeing St. Leo Bolt, they get it. I remember having a conversation with Dr. Bolt at Jamaica College, and we're talking about mental strength. And he said, Doc, the difference between good and great is the brain, is mental. Michael Jordan, my prep brother, said the same thing. So this book that Steven Peters has, and he's breaking it down, he makes it into a simple thing for lay people. There's the human, which is us. There, he calls it the chimp, the emotional part of the brain, which is what is the limbic cortical region. So the limbic cortical region is there to protect us, Ian, right? But sometimes it don't really protect us. Peter will know that my father was a big criminal attorney and then became the public defender of Jamaica, and he was part of the reason why them low Rastaman can smoke their weed in church, right? Howard Hamilton. So homage to my father, he's still with us, and in wisdom. So this book and this theory, there's the human, there's the chimp, is what he calls it, chimpanzee. So if a chimpanzee come into the studio right now and back and start fight us, the little chimpanzee will beat up all the way now. Chimpanzee is 5 times stronger than a human.
Yeah.
Right? Then he has the human, the chimp, and the final thing is the computer. When Ian Watson and Peter Young and all great athletes are playing well, their computer is just humming, right? Because it's not about Ian and Peter thinking, okay, I need to loop, I need to do block backhand. You understand? If you're thinking to do that, a bare foolishness to play.
Yeah.
Your muscle memory now knows what to do. So that part of the brain, corpus callosum, is 20 times faster. It knows what to do. If you allow it to do what it's going to do, you're going to win the national championship. My job is to help you make sure the chimp don't come play table tennis. Your chimp don't know how to play table tennis. Peter chimp don't know how to play tennis. Nobody chimp don't know how to do nothing but interrupt the thing. And you might like one girl. Your chimp like every woman in the world. You might like one slice of pizza. Your chimp want the whole box for itself. I say go. You might like one Heineken. Your chimp want drink one case of Heineken. You get me? But the whole time you always have to be managing your chimp. So this is where I work. I teach athletes how to manage the limbic cortical region. But all it's going to do is cause your problem. Right? In terms of Shelly and you're saying smiling before, because when you smile, your body releases serotonin and norepinephrine. Chimp can't come in. Can't come in.
Eliminate the chimp. Don't be a chimp.
Yep.
All right, Dr. Hamilton, I have one more thing for you. Is there a relation between nutrition and the brain in terms of the brain? Because I was doing some research the other day and I heard a doctor saying that the gut is the first brain of the body.
Excellent. Yes, it is. So, a lot of people don't know this. You remember that story I telling you about the lady a while ago and her theory, and her husband is a sports psychologist, and she said, F it, and she run and she win. Right? Many people say, oh, you need to carb load, and you need to eat one only for carbohydrate before you have a big competition. There is research right now where fasting, for example, right?
Yes, athletes fasting.
Fasting and broken them world record. Fasting and winning a national championship, right?
Even Olajuwon was a faster as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Ramadan him can't eat.
Nigeria.
And then we do research on the fact that them man are doing better time during Ramadan than them do during the whole heap of time. Them eat up food. Right? I'm not saying enough to eat, right? But yes, the gut is the first brain, and your gut can affect your performance. So proper nutrition is very, very important. But you don't need to be, you need to be eating on the whole world. You go compete. There are people, and this is recent. This is 2021 research where people fast all a whole day, 2 days, them don't eat before them compete, right? And their competition is better. There's research about prisoners in China where they never eat for days, and the man them are writing books and learn to speak Swedish, all kind of something. Your brain, check it out. Go and try a little fasting like how a team and them they do it, and you go like all days and see the clarity of thought.
Okay, yeah, because them say when a lion is hungry, he's very alert. So you're probably eating too much food, right?
Yep. That's a very I like that analogy. When a lion is hungry, similar to an athlete, right? So there's a time in the athlete's career when they're hungry, just like an entertainer, a musician. So when you're hungry in the beginning, your music wicked. When you're hungry in the beginning, your time's wicked and everything, right? You see, you start getting one only for money now. Yeah, it's hard. Look at what LeBron James have to do. Every year he have to reinvent himself and get hungry again. Appetite get a little full right now, can't go home but sleep. But hungry lion must, when the lion hungry, him not gonna say, I run down the gazelle and say, all right, go on, you catch you next time. When he hungry, he might catch that gazelle.
Shelly look hungry today. Shelly run.
What?
Early to the 10th.
Shelly look like his champ. She was a run. She look like a teenager, like she could take common entrance or some exam. She young and look good.
Find that.
And smiling before the race. Yeah, notice it. Smile before the race. This when me see Shelly and smile before a race. You can go get something to drink out of the fridge in a car. 10 seconds from now, race done and she win. Anytime you see you seeing smiling before the race and relax, done. Finish. I get beaten.
And I find that even with females coming back after giving birth and themselves, I mean, must have something to do, as you said, mentally. This is a strong part of, well, I mean, all facts of life. You have to be strong, not just be anything you partake. I mean, and I find that some athletes have a fear of being psych-evaluated, I would say, or being people have this false pretense that you're going to a doctor, because we also we don't want to go to a doctor and then nothing wrong with me. What am I going to do? But I mean, the breakdown of it is that your mind is very powerful, and the stronger the mind, the better the performance in any given thing.
Great question, Ian, and I like that. That's the wrap up, because here the thing. That's what my wife was trying to say to me, right? Because she know I'm going to be working between Miami and Jamaica, and she said Jamaican people now go on a psychologist. They know when you said nothing wrong with me, but drink a rum or something and talk to your friend them, or go to church, go tell your pastor. So this is what I'm working on removing the stigma, right? Look, most I want stop calling myself a psychologist.
Yeah.
I just want to call a performance coach.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you perform.
Yeah.
Mental performance coach is what I'm doing. I'm coaching you so your gym will take over from you the day you need your computer to do well. Quick, I will give you an example. So let's use Ian, right? I'm going to tell you 3 scenarios and you're going to break down everything. So let's pretend Ian is, all right, so you're a national champion table tennis player, but in this thing, you're a world champion piano player.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're playing the piano properly, your computer is doing everything well. You've been playing this difficult Mozart since you were 4-year-old. You can play it blindfolded. So first scenario, you're in the national arena. Everybody you love is watching you. You're playing the piano, and Peter Muyong come on stage and say, Ian, you want a glass of water or a bucket of water? Pretend in your brain is a chimpanzee sitting on a couch. So the chimpanzee always hungry, you know? Always. But it's there to protect you. That's the limbic cortical region. You're a chimp, sir. I want to this idiot youth, sir. You know, so man play the piano for the whole of people and come ask me damn foolishness about if I want water. Yeah. Right? It's a simple question. You either want the water or you don't want it. So because your chimp start get angry, your computer now start bang the key. You're not playing so well, the human, right? And the human who is weaker than the chimp, going to take a little while to calm him down and say, look, no, it's just a question. You either want the water. After a while, human calm down the chimp. It go back and sit down on the couch and you tell Peter, no, I don't want no water. Right? Second scenario, another one of your brethren come on stage and say, Ian, the people in this audience want to know how your brain and your fingers make this beautiful music. Every time you get that question, it goes first to the emotional part of the brain, first to the limbic cortical region, which is the chimp. Your chimp jump off of the couch again and say, I want to them idiot people, man. You know, some I play the piano for the whole of the auditorium, national arena. You know what you're asking me, stupid. And because the chimp is getting angry, is affecting the computer, which is banging the piano key. And everybody has said, I want the piano, I'm going to play so much foolishness, right? So the human have to try to calm down the chimp again to say, look. So it don't always win, you know, the chimp don't always win. If you're a chimp and box down somebody, and you cool with the box down and the consequence of the box down, a boxer go box down somebody, you know, right? So you must manage the chimp all the way. All right, so your human calm back down the chimp, you go back but sit down, and you're playing again. So chimp down, sit down, computer playing again, music is beautiful. Third scenario, Dr. Hamilton and somebody for doctor come on stage in a white lab coat and iPad and clipboard and everything. And we're going to question you and evaluate you to see if you are in fact one of the best piano players in the world. So first we'll do is circle the table, circle around the piano. Chimp not like that. Chimp not like nobody encroach on them and circle them, right? Then now we start pushing on your shoulder and talking to you real close with nasty, stinking halitosis spread self. So hot thing I breathe on you and we'll push your shoulder and say, Ian, all the way up to answer the question at the same time. So your chimp get bringle now. So all of a sudden in the third scenario, you get up, you kick over the piano, you kick over the chair, you tell the people in the arena one only for bad word, and you say, I'm done, I'm not play no more. That is what I deal with. That the chimp there. Enough time athlete kick over them water bottle and curse out them coach.
Yeah.
Dr. Hamilton, I want to ask you something. Is it better for an athlete to be somewhat delusional? Before you answer that, I want to draw on a story. A true story, that is. We had a big-time table tennis player back in the 80s and 90s, early part of the 90s as well. Came into the national arena, entered the national, and won the title while he was still at Bellevue, right? After winning that championship in the national arena, took out his umbrella as if rain was falling. And when you look back at how he played that day, there were no emotions, was it in his own world, fluent, smooth. It didn't matter whether the score was 1-1 or 9 whether it was championship point or not. And I tend to wonder if it's better to be delusional as an athlete if you want to perform at a high level. You think that could be?
I guess you wouldn't call it being.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wouldn't say it's better to be mad or a mental patient to play well, but it does talk to what we in sports psychology call the zone, right? So we'll spin it around on you guys, Ian and probably Peter or anybody else who played at a high level. You're playing so well, it look like everything moving in slow motion, right? You're playing fast, you know, but it look like Matrix.
Yes.
That is that delusional state you were talking about.
Yeah.
Nothing could go wrong for him that day.
The zone.
Another day, but that the particular day that when I open umbrella when him done play, nobody. I think Jesus couldn't beat him. Nobody was beating him.
You know that is. I think he said that. You know, he said he was a world champion after the match as well. You know, walking out the arena with
world champ. I'm telling you, if the world champion had come in there, even though I'm not at the world champion level, the world champion would be leaving with a beating. That's the power. You've made my argument better for me. That is the power of what I'm telling you. Remember me just tell you a while ago the man lift the world record and think say something him lift all the time in practice.
Yeah.
So all my athletes every day have to send me a discipline thing, right? Every one of them, every athlete I ever work with. So it's called PG. No one really give them all of my secret them, but they have to send me a text every day, right?
Yeah.
The ones that send me the text every day at the same time, them accomplish every goal we set. So we have to go find some new goal, right? Them with every. Like them say, I want to win the state championship, we do that. I want to win the national championship, we do that. So we have to come up with some new, right? So when a little 11-year-old tell me I want to be Olympic champion, I not putting no qualms on them dreams, you know.
Limits.
Right? I have a 12-year-old right now that I was working with, and his goal was to be the state champion in basketball. As a senior in high school, he is the state champion of the state of Florida. And it's not him one on the side. You understand? Him play with other people. But everything he needed to do, it be like Crying Leonard. Him like our Conte. No matter what the other team bring, him is the defender. Him just a break up your players.
Play him role.
The mental part of it is extremely important, even for, let's say, that should be priority in sports in Jamaica, right? The mental, based on what you're saying, the mental is everything. Is a primary driver of improving performance. The whole works.
90% of your performance is between your ears. That's my quote. Dr. Jason Scott Hamilton said 90% of your performance is between your ears. Right?
We should focus more on that then. We should definitely put that in our yearly training plan as coaches. By the way, you work with coaches and referees and umpires?
Of course, I work with all of them. Because I help, my job is just help. I'm a tool to be used to help the athlete perform. I help the coach, I help the trainer, I help the parents. But some parents never play the sport yet and trying to live vicariously through them children. And then them is helicopter parent and them is really worse. I have athletes say to me that I'd rather a dentist take a drill and drill me in my eye or drink hot lava rather than listen to my father after his bad in a game. I
see it.
Understand? So, the thing is, I think all top organizations need to have a sports psychologist. Harbour View is well ahead of them time. You know, kudos to Carvel Stewart and Clyde Giardini and all the top management at Harbour View, them see it long time. Kudos to Dave Cameron when he was president, even though his case seemed go. You know, they see the need. They see the need for sports psychology and implement it.
Our former Kingston College students.
Sorry, say that again?
2 hosts are former Kingston College students.
Oh, I know that. I know. That's good. I do know that. You understand? What's this joke for Peter? I actually passed common entrance for Casey.
Oh. You know, I know there's something to you.
I take the Calabar, Ian, right?
Yeah.
My brother ran track for Calabar. Everybody in my family. I think at one point I think my mother they go JC because everybody, my father, my uncle them, grandfather, all my brother. Look at me. I'm 59, and my 3 children have graduated high school, and 2 of my children graduate college, and my brother is at JC.
Okay.
My brother is playing basketball for JC, so my father don't play around.
You and Peter are classmates, but Peter telling me that he's 38.
Oh, yeah. All right. You see, I spend the whole show and I don't bring this up. Peter go said, no, don't segue into that. I'm going to bring up the race.
Yeah.
So, Peter's timing, man. I'm supposed to be in Japan for the Olympics, so I guess I will deal with him. I'll deal with the case when I come back. But me and Peter at a Titchfield reunion, and we're racing, and to him say the size, and him is a little young, fit, 39-year-old table tennis player, and thinks I'm of me. I have the picture to send it to you, Ian. At the end of the race, I look like Bolt. Finger in the ear, Peter right behind me, and it was lovely. He keep telling me about when pick the start.
Came on the treadmill. I mean, he's still working at it. Working to pick the start.
Throw down the gauntlet tonight and tell me say anytime. So that's all right. I'm going to get into training, and I'll let you know in 2023 where we're racing.
All right, so we're going to touch on Osaka. Naomi.
Yes.
The mental situation that she says she's facing in terms of anxiety and what's some other problems that she gave to the media last week. This week rather.
I mean, I think that athletes don't come out often enough when they face problems like this, and this is one of the issues, and I guess as I said, stigma attached to people actually getting help or getting past that point where sports psychologists can help them.
Yeah, man. I was interviewed by the Cleaner. I have written considerably on the subject right now. I'm very proud of Naomi, especially in the light of the fact that she said it during Mental Health Month. I'm very proud of her wrote to say. I even wrote her in Twitter. Don't know if you see it, but that I said what I wrote was that they're going to Roland Garros and the French Open will rue the day that they charged her that $15,000, right? Because if an athlete had torn their groin or pulled their ACL, right, and say I can't play in the tournament, you're not charging them no $15,000, right? Listen, you see that same part of the brain that I tell you, the limbic cortical region, and why it's dangerous and it's not a play thing, the chimp. We call it a chimp. It's no real chimp, right? Just we're trying to get a name so you know. It's an emotional part of your brain. And then you're just completely emotional or you have thoughts you don't want to have, that's a chimp. Let me show you how powerful this thing is. If a person is suicidal, right? And that person come and said to me, Dr. Hamilton, I'm suicidal. I can't say, oh man, you're just joking. You know, go drink Heineken and food. Nothing can go. If I say that, I lose my license. If she then in fact goes ahead and kill herself. The limbic cortical region in that patient, every morning, her brain is saying to her, you know what would be good? If you kill yourself. You know what would be good? If you jump off a building. Because all these problems we're having, they'd be gone if you were dead. And then if you see this person as one of your friends, man, she used to be depressed and sad, and all of a sudden she's happy and giving away. She give away her car and give away everything, things that she really love. And you say, oh, okay, she look like she's good now. She's not good. She's come to terms with the fact that she's going to do it. In clinical psychology, we call it dancing with death. Death is telling her every day it would be better if you come on my side. And one day she does say, you know what, it's true that you are right. I'm coming on your side. That's not good. Killing yourself is not good. You follow me? Yeah, so that's managing that same region. So if I'm not saying that Naomi is suicidal, I am saying though that anxiety and depression is real. If you're telling yourself I am scared, I don't like to talk to in the public. When anytime you interview me at the US at the French Open before a match, is the whole world like talking to you, know?
Yeah.
You understand? For a person that don't like talk in public, you put the mic in front, is the world that listen to every foolishness or anything that come out my mouth. So she's telling you, listen, Ian, you're an elite athlete, right? National champion. You think a man could have said to you, all right, don't you qualify, you are the defending national champion, and you say, you know what, I don't really want to play. No, you want to play. You're the national champion. That's what you live for, you train for, you do everything. So for Naomi to say, I don't want to play French Open, it's hard. That's what you live for. That's what you train for. Yeah. In the words like Hillary Clinton, we should be able to just judge her, and that is to just burn some fire for some people. In the words of Hillary Clinton, we should be able to just appreciate the beauty of our tennis and let that speak for itself.
In closing, Dr. Henry, one thing, is this problem fixable? Can it be fixed?
Of course. All right. You remember our school when we look a bit? Remember I tell you something, we go through every prep school in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Maturity and the problem, all right, it's like all young people committing suicide, right? That is them chimp telling them every day you should do it. You see that same young person don't commit. I've had patients that don't commit. And the reason she don't commit to suicide, her daughter. She want to live to see her daughter. Well, she go on, we just tap into that like one thing and she go on and she live for the daughter. All of a sudden you find that she's lived. No, she's living for her granddaughter, her daughter.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if it's that you taking for living up, but guess what you're doing? You're not dead in.
Okay.
You know, put up that time because we have our next guest speaker coming up. I'd like to thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Anytime.
You'll be a guest again and touch on some topics that, I mean, everybody that listening is key because we just watch these athletes and see them perform and don't know the intricacies that happen in between the lines. And one of it that we can't even see ourselves is our mind and how powerful it is in our performance. So again, I thank you. Me and my host Dale, and I'm Kane, by the way. I keep saying Ian, but Kane. You know, Kane.
Oh Lord, the whole time you have me, they ain't correct me.
I'll cut your time, man. They're giving me, but executive producers giving me mud in the background, but it's all fine. I mean, it's fine.
No, it's not correct, man, because it's one big thing that to me.
I was listening.
In my head. I'm mispronouncing somebody's name.
That's cool. I mean, my chip didn't get the chip. The chip didn't get
every time I control, so you manage up the chip. Last thing before I go, I thank you guys for allowing me and having me on the show. And I want to big up Peter Young and Joel Young, and them were some phenomenal athletes at Titchfield. I used to play table tennis with them, you know. I played tennis down for the Jamaica when I was 14. So my mother played for Jamaica. So I used to do the tennis. But then I used to play table tennis against Peter Green, Andrew Green. And then when I come now, I say, no, I'm not deal with them money. The money already play volleyball for the national final. The money down at Titchfield. So I'm big up Titchfield and Peter and Joel and Keith Garvey and all of them on there. And Lamont.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, man, bless. Right. Manners and respect.
Cool.
Come on.
Welcome to Primal, where it all starts. Primal is your comprehensive source for entertainment. We aim to be your one-stop shop for music, arts, sports, culture, and more. We want to cultivate your creativity and pique your curiosity, all while you sit back, relax, and enjoy. We've developed and continue to develop programming geared towards busy people like yourselves who enjoy eclectic music, intriguing commentary, and innovative shows on the go from anywhere in the world. We are 24/7 entertainment. Whatever you're in the mood for, we have it, or we're on the cusp of developing it. So let's get into our current lineup. We hope you're enjoying Primal Sports Center with Dale and Kane. We invite fans and sports enthusiasts to join them right here on Primal every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. In the mood for roots and culture, Listen to Daddy Lion's Roots Dynamic Experience on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a most unconventional music program packed with information about the artists and all kinds of other stuff. On Monday and Wednesday at 6 to 8 p.m., tune into Black Talk with Simia and Scott. They are a husband and wife who will be talking about issues that affect us. And they go back and forth. They're very fun. After that, on Thursdays, get pulled into the Matrix at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Naima and Denise. They are a mother-daughter duo who discuss pertinent, hot-button topics from two generational perspectives. So that's always fun. Next, who doesn't like nostalgia? Let Packa Perry take you back down memory lane at 7 o'clock on Thursdays. And then at 7:30, join Simon with Tomo TV. He has a compilation of Jamaican TikToks and relatable information that will have you all on the floor. On Friday nights at 6 p.m., listen to Uncle Randy for a mix of music, current affairs, and again, always join the chat, join the discussion in the chat. And remember, at Primal, the party is never done. No behavior, okay? Bring the dance into your home with DJ Migraine's show, Deja Vu, at 8 o'clock on Friday Eastern Standard Time. It's a mix of 80s and 90s. Then Saturday morning, Migraine gets you off the couch one more time at 11 Eastern with Hot Tracks, music from the 2000s. Later, Saturday evening, we need you to come right back. Remember, the party is never done. Ladies, put on your black dress, look cute, step into the G-spot with the legend himself, DJ Gaddafi, playing what you want to hear, a perfect mix to keep your living room party hyped and on fire. Join us in the chat. I can't say it enough. Join us in the chat. It's always fire, okay? We invite you to look at our website, www.primalmediagroup.net, and explore some of our upcoming events, content, stories, videos, and don't forget the chat room and lots more. Primal, it starts and ends right here. Now, back to you, Dale and Kane.
Thank you, Nan. In our final segment, we would like to welcome former Olympian, track and field Olympian Ainsley Waugh to Primal Sports Center. Good afternoon, Ainsley.
Not hearing you.
Not hearing you, Ainsley.
I think your mic is muted.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me now?
I hear you perfect.
Yes, I'm your host, Dale Parham, and also my co-host, Kane Watson. We'll kick it off with Kane.
All right, Ainsley.
Okay.
I've been off the track and field for a while now. I mean, for the young ones, they probably don't know you. Give us a rundown of your career. I mean, I know you because, I follow track and field from I was born, and you're one of the athletes that carried the flag, especially on the circuit when it was booming.
Yes.
You come carrying the flag high. Career speaks for itself, but break it down for us. Give us a rundown how you started, and from start to finish, and your whole career.
Okay, I'll try to put it as though you put it, my whole career in few. Okay, so first of all, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. I started off track in primary school, Spanish Town. I used to go to Macaulay's primary school, that's in Spanish Town. And I went to Spanish Town High School. I had opportunities to go to school like San Diego and Jamaica College. However, through circumstances, at the end of it all, it remains that my father said stay at Spanish Town High. And we didn't have a track program there, but I was able to train myself, keep myself fit. I do a variety of sports, plus a little track training, plus I had friends who had gone on to represent other prominent high schools in track and field, and I see them doing well in Carifta games, the junior meets, and so forth. And I see, I used to beat that guy. I used to be faster than that guy. And long story, I stayed at Spanish Town. When I get my CXC subjects, I said to my father, I want to go to UTech. I want to do tourism and hospitality. But money wasn't there like that. So, all right, I know I have these exams coming up. So I started training myself. I started training myself like a track athlete. That's preparing for something. I don't know what I was preparing for. I was hoping to go to champs. I could have gone to champs. I've never competed at boys and girls champs.
Wow.
And yes, so I had a friend who went to San Diego High School at the time. As I say, I know him from we were like 12 years old or thereabouts because we made the parish team. But he get the opportunity to go to San Diego. I didn't, but we still were friends. So he said, "There's Mr. Bert Cameron at San Diego High School. You should come down there and train with him." And I went down there and I trained for like a month. The training was unlike anything because I haven't done any formal training in years. Even while I was in primary school, I never did any sort of like formal training. You just get up and run, but you keep fit in other sports. So anyways, I trained for a month down there, and then once the December period was up, I went back to Spanish Town, started training myself. And then the kids at Spanish Town High see me training, who love track and field, because you have to love track and field to do it. No one can force you to do it. And they see me training, and, within no time, I have like 10, maybe say 15 kids, the max, that I was coaching while I was like trying to get myself somewhere, because they see. So as a matter of fact, I was able to raise money in the school and like we take trips and go to track competitions, And I even get 5 or 6 of them to qualify for champs that year. That was the first year that champs merged. They have super champs, so you have boys and girls compete together. So I feel like I had a chance to be there, to be a champs, And for some reasons, I get 5 kids qualify, and including myself, got qualified, and like the entries went in late, and I never participated in boys and girls championships. However, what happened is that with me like taking the kids to competition development meets, I was spotted by the late great Dennis Johnson. May his soul rest in peace. He passed on a couple weeks ago. He saw me competing in the 200 meters at the Jamaica Development Meet in Clarendon. And he said, that guy have talent. He just need to fix his arms because his arms was out, he probably just need to fix that. And he sent someone to come get me. And it's so work out. I said, God work in mysterious ways, because as I said, I wanted to go to UTech. Next thing you know, the coach for UTech.
DJ, I myself is a past UTech student. I've seen you guys train up by the field all the time.
Awesome. So So he saw me and said, "Go get that guy," and like next thing you know, it worked out. I give myself a chance, and then God do the rest. I meet him, and he was also part of the Olympic coaching staff and all of that. So I was in perfect environment, because when I was 12, I tell my father I'm going to represent Jamaica in track and field. I don't know, if you meet my father, probably one of the first things he tell you that I wrote it down when I was like 11 or 12 thereabouts. So yes, that worked out, and I get to UTech. Mr. Dennis Johnson. He coached me for like a 1 semester. Then Stephen Francis came on board shortly after that. And that year passed and so forth. Then they recruited Asafa. You have Bridget Foster Hilton and all that. And so the full formal training started fully with like Stephen Francis being at the helm at UTech at the time. And no one knew about me. No one knew what I could do. Nobody knew me from Champs or Carifta. Most of the guys that came in, they had competed at Carifta before, or some form of junior event where they are familiar with each other. So like they never really like count me in. If they like picking a relay team, I'd probably be like the 8th person on that relay team. And so I know I had to work, I had to train hard because I'm at a disadvantage because a lot of stuff that they know and practice and training that they get in and the exposure that they have, I don't have it.
You're hungry and train hard.
Yes, I work really hard, and you know the track house. All right, so yes, I train hard, work with Stephen Francis, and like when December comes, or like when holiday breaks come, I would not go home. I would stay at the UTEC track house, the dorm, and I just keep training myself. So by the time most of them guys come back who took a break, I have an advantage.
Oh,
So
okay, Ainsley, you made it to the Olympics?
yes, I make it to the 2004 Olympics.
Oh, for Greece.
In Athens, Greece, yes, for the 4x1.
Okay. Did you actually compete in the 4x1?
No, I was the reserve for the 4x1.
Okay. And
But the year after that, before the Commonwealth, the year after the Olympics, I run the 100 and the 4x1 at the World Championships. I run the flat 100 meters at the World Championships in Helsinki, and I ran the 4x1. I think we come in fourth in the 4x1 for the relays. Yeah, we got fourth in the 4x1. And for 2006, I did the Commonwealth Games. I think I got a gold in that one, and I did the 100 and the 200 meters. And after that, I mostly focused mainly on the European circuit. I like being
Diamond League events, I remember.
Yeah, and the Diamond, at the time it was the Golden League. Yeah. So I focus a lot on the Golden League because at the end of the day, if you make the team, you have to pass Asafa, you have to pass all these great guys to even medal to be a factor. So I make a business decision, I have to operate like a business. So it's either you try to get these medals, which is very tough because you have to pass through this guy, or you get paid.
This is a success story because, not much athletes come out of the woodworks that haven't competed at champs. The great Dennis Johnson saw eye for you. You came up, you trained hard. To me, this is a success story where you even told your father at age 12, you still with us, Ainsley? Yeah. I guess we'll have that connection back soon, but yeah, for Ainsley Waugh to not compete, you're with us, Ainsley, yeah. But
okay.
Yeah. Not competing at champs. So telling your father at age 12 that you will compete for Jamaica shows that you have a strong character. And touching from our first case where I had a sports psychologist, the mind is a very important thing, and that shows that you must have had a strong mentality to overcome all these obstacles of basically being at the back of the line, because you yourself being an 8 pick to being an Olympian, because to be Olympian to me is just like being a doctor, or like something that should be revered.
Yes, it's a hard work and dedication, same discipline.
Athletes, no matter what the discipline, can take this as a testimony where it comes down to hard work. No matter what, no matter, you could be a star athlete now. At the end, put in the work, and stick to it. You had a dream, as you said, at age 12, and you said you will compete for Jamaica. You did it.
Yes.
Ainsley, I want to ask you a question here. You think it was a curse or a blessing for you to start your track career so late? Because from what I've been noticing is that most of the athletes from class 3 and class 2 that go to the rigors of champs and the workload, the weightlifting, the constant running, they tend not to make that transition to the senior level. So I think it was more of a blessing for you to start late, because when I even look at Shelley and Bolt kind of started late as well. Class 2, Shelley was never like a prime athlete at champs at all. So when you look at the data, it can show you that 90% of the Olympians, they started out late. So you can shed a little light on that for me, in your opinion and views in terms of the workload for the youngsters. Is it too much? What's your opinion on that?
think it's a start because at the time, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
You hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Clear.
Clear. Go ahead.
Yes, starting late was a blessing because most of the guys who I watched when champs going on and when character going on, and as I say, I know some of them from they were younger also. I mean, by the time I get to the senior level, I doubt if I ever make any of the senior teams with them. You know, so with starting so late, I had a lot to give. I was learning everything. I have to learn how to pass a relay button. I have to learn how to start. I have to learn how to distribute a race. I have to learn distribute a race. I have to learn what is drive phase, what is the different phases of a race and all of that. So I was learning everything like at a senior level, while at the same time, while I was learning, I was making the teams. At that time, UTEC become one of the first university outside of America to win a championship of America race. The team that I was on was the first. Mark you, UTEC have done it many times of lately, but I was one of the first, or part of the first team to have come to Penn Relays and won a championship of America race. As I say, also I was learning at the same time, but I was on the Jamaica team, senior teams, the CAC, the character, and all of them. So not character, the CAC games and all of them stuff. I was on it while still learning the game. So yeah, it was a blessing to start that late.
Okay. Well, Ainsley, we're kind of short for time this week. So thank you for joining us here today on Primal Sports Center, and we hope to have you back in the very near future. So on behalf of myself, Dale Parham, and Kane Watson, I say thank you. You have any closing words that you would like to give to the youngsters and just our viewers overall? Have any?
You guys welcome anytime. Thank you, man. It's a pleasure being here.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Ainsley.
Thank you for being here, Ainsley. I mean, your story to me is one that shows determination. I mean, not much people start out late or even stick to their dream. And for you to, I mean, to me, if you tell your father at 12, you're going to compete, and then even so on, being pushed back, seeing your compatriots competing and you're not there, and to the point now where, to me, in that period of time, you were always on the television competing diamondly, and the whole Jamaica is with you. And for me, I want to say thanks for being with us. And again, in the near future, I mean, we'll have our Olympic segment coming up, and I mean, we'll probably need some expertise, as I said, passing, relays, buttons, all of that. They can help us out, give us expertise in the track and field spectrum. So thank you again, and thank you for being with us.
All right, that wraps up the show for this week. All right, so next week we'll be having a great lineup. And also we've been having requests in terms of the call-in segment. So next week we'll have our first show with a call-in section. Also, we'll be doing the Primal app. We'll have the app out in about the next 3 weeks. So you can just download on your phone and just tune into the show. All right, so Kane?
From us here in Primal Sports Center, thank you again. It was a great show. I hope you guys found it interesting. And next week, more touch topics. And again, stay tuned next week. Primal Sports Center. Book it.